Hi, Jack. How was your day today?
Hey, Emma. It was actually pretty busy. I had a lot of meetings in the morning, and then I spent some time working on a project that's due next week. How about you?
My day was a bit different. I started with a long walk in the park, and then I did some grocery shopping. Later, I had a chance to read a few chapters of a book I'm enjoying.
That sounds relaxing. You know, talking about your day in English can sometimes feel tricky, especially when you want to share details naturally.
Exactly. Many learners struggle with expressing daily routines, feelings, or experiences clearly. But today, we'll go step by step on how to talk about your day smoothly in English.
First, let's think about the structure. Usually, when you describe your day, you can follow a simple order: morning, afternoon, and evening. It helps your listener understand your day chronologically.
Right. For example, you can start with, in the morning, I woke up early and had breakfast. Then I went to work. Short sentences are perfect, especially if you're still learning.
And don't forget to include feelings. That makes your story more interesting. For instance, I was a little tired in the morning, but after coffee, I felt ready to start my work.
Adding emotions or reactions is great. You can use words like happy, tired, excited, stressed, relaxed. These small words make your conversation more lively.
Another tip is to use transition words. Words like then, after that, later, finally, help your story flow naturally. Without them, it can sound like a list of events.
Yes. For example, in the morning, I had breakfast. Then I went for a walk. After that, I started working on my project. It's easy to follow and sounds natural.
Also, don't worry if you don't remember exact details. You can keep it simple. For example, I spent most of the morning working, and in the afternoon, I went out for lunch.
Learners often ask, Jack, how much detail should I give? My advice, start with one or two main points. You can gradually add small details as you feel more confident.
And if someone asks follow-up questions, that's your chance to give more information. For instance, if you say, I went for a walk in the park, they might ask, which park? Or did you enjoy it?
Exactly, Jack. And you can answer naturally. I went to Central Park. It was peaceful and I saw some beautiful flowers. See how it adds life to your conversation?
Another useful thing is to practice using past tense verbs. Most of the time, when you talk about your day, you're describing things that already happened.
Yes, words like went, did, had, saw, met, worked are very common. They make your sentences simple but clear.
And don't forget about small expressions. Phrases like later on, after a while, or by the evening can make your speech sound more natural and fluent.
Another tip that really helps is to mention the people you interacted with. Talking about others makes your story more engaging. For example, I met my colleague Sarah for lunch and we discussed our project ideas.
That's a great point. Using names or roles like friends, family, coworkers, or classmates gives your story context. Even small details like, I called my friend in the evening, makes your day sound more complete.
And speaking of calling friends, technology expressions are useful too. Many learners don't know how to describe using their phone or computer. For instance, I spent some time replying to messages, or I checked my emails before starting work.
Definitely. Words like texted, emailed, chatted, video called are common in daily life. They sound natural and help your listener visualize your activities.
Another aspect is describing routines versus special events. Routines can be simple. I usually have breakfast at 7 a.m. But special events give your story more interest. I had a meeting with my manager and we celebrated finishing a big project.
And when you describe a special event, adding details about what happened, how you felt, or what was exciting makes your story memorable. For example, it was my first time presenting in front of the team. I felt nervous at first, but later I was proud.
Using small descriptive words like nervous, excited, relaxed, or tired is key. You don't need long sentences, but expressing feelings makes your English sound more natural.
Another useful strategy is to use expressions for time. Words and phrases like in the morning, during lunch, by evening, or before dinner help listeners follow the sequence.
Absolutely. And if you want to talk about habits, words like usually, often, sometimes, or rarely are very helpful. For example, I usually go for a walk after breakfast, but today I skipped it because it was raining.
That's perfect for explaining exceptions in your day. Learners can also use phrases like this morning, this afternoon, today, tonight, and earlier to make their story clearer.
Talking about meals is another easy way to practice daily conversation. You can describe what you ate or where you ate. For example, I had a sandwich for lunch and a cup of coffee. It was simple but tasty.
Or you could describe a meal with friends or family. I cooked dinner with my sister. We made pasta and it was really fun. Small details like what you cooked or who you cooked with make your story lively.
And don't forget short expressions to show your thoughts or reactions. Words like wow, oh no, amazing, or funny can make your speech more interactive. For instance, oh, it was amazing to see the flowers blooming in the park.
Yes, using natural expressions is very important. They help your English sound like a native speaker, even if your sentences are simple.
Another tip is to describe your surroundings. You can add little details about the weather, location, or atmosphere. For example, it was sunny in the morning, so I decided to take a short walk outside.
And even mentioning small events like noticing something interesting on the street can make your conversation richer. I saw a street musician playing guitar and it made me smile.
Finally, practicing these daily expressions regularly is key. Even talking to yourself for a few minutes about your day can improve fluency.
Another way to make your story interesting is by sharing small surprises or unexpected events. Even tiny things can be fun to describe. For example, while walking to work, I found a little coffee shop I had never noticed before.
Yes, those small discoveries add personality to your day. You can also describe how it made you feel. It was cozy and the smell of fresh coffee was really inviting.
Another technique is to compare your day with other days. You can say, today was quieter than usual, or this morning was busier than yesterday. It gives your listener a reference point and adds variety to your story.
And for learners, using simple adjectives like busy, quiet, long, short, or fun works really well. You don't need complicated words to make your sentences expressive.
Talking about problems or challenges is another natural element. For example, I tried to finish my work before lunch, but my computer crashed. Simple sentences like this make your conversation real and relatable.
And you can always add a solution or what you did next. So I restarted my computer and continued working. It keeps the story flowing and shows cause and effect.
Using cause and effect words like so, because, then, or as a result is really helpful for linking your sentences together naturally.
And for learners, using simple adjectives like so, because, then, or then are really helpful. You don't need complicated words to make your sentences expressive.
Talking about problems or challenges is another natural element. For example, I tried to finish my work before lunch, but my computer crashed. Simple sentences like this make your conversation real and relatable.
And you can always add a solution or what you did next. So I restarted my computer and continued working. It keeps the story flowing and shows cause and effect.
Using cause and effect words like so, because, then, or as a result is really helpful for linking your sentences together naturally.
Another thing is describing habits or routines in more detail. Instead of just saying, I exercised, you could say, I exercised for 30 minutes in the morning, I did some stretching and a short run.
That's a great example. Giving a little extra information about time, duration, or method makes your description clearer and more engaging.
Talking about leisure activities is important too. You can describe hobbies, reading, watching TV, or cooking. For example, in the evening, I read a few chapters of my favorite novel. It helped me relax.
And adding sensory words can really make your story vivid. Words about taste, smell, sound, or touch help your listener imagine your experience. The soup I cooked smelled amazing and the taste was comforting.
That's an excellent point. Using sensory language is a skill that makes your English more colorful without making sentences too long.
Another strategy is to include plans for tomorrow or later. For instance, tomorrow I plan to go to the supermarket early and then I want to finish my assignment. It shows continuity in your daily life.
And you can even use expressions for hope or intention, like I hope to, I want to, I plan to, or I am going to. These are very common in daily conversations.
Describing transportation is useful too. Words like walked, drove, took the bus, or cycled are practical. For example, I took the bus to work today because it was raining.
You can also describe the journey briefly. The bus was crowded, but I managed to find a seat. Small details like that make your day feel real and complete.
Talking about weather is another easy way to add context. For example, It was sunny in the morning, but it started raining in the afternoon. Weather words are common in daily conversations and easy to remember.
And combining weather with activities works really well. Since it was raining, I stayed indoors and finished my project instead of going for a walk.
Another way to make your storytelling richer is by describing small routines or personal habits in more detail. For example, I started my day with a cup of green tea while reading the news online.
That's a good one. Even mentioning simple actions like stretching, brushing your teeth, or making coffee helps learners practice common verbs and everyday vocabulary.
You can also describe your workspace or surroundings. For instance, I worked at my desk near the window. The sunlight made the room feel warm and bright. This gives your listener a clearer picture of your day.
Talking about work or study tasks can be helpful too. You can describe what you did, how long it took, or whether it was challenging. For example, I spent 2 hours writing an email report. It was a bit difficult because I wanted it to be perfect.
And using small time expressions like for a while, all morning, or in the afternoon helps to make your sentences smoother. I read for an hour in the afternoon before preparing dinner.
Another useful tip is to include positive experiences. Even ordinary moments can be described in an enjoyable way. For example, I had a short break and I listened to my favorite song. It really lifted my mood.
And you can mix in negative experiences too, to keep your story balanced and realistic. Later, I felt a little stressed because I had too many tasks to complete, but I managed to finish them.
Talking about feelings and reactions in real time helps learners use emotional vocabulary naturally. Words like relieved, proud, frustrated, or excited are very common and useful.
Describing interactions with others is important too. You can explain conversations briefly like, I spoke with my neighbor about their garden. They shared some tips for planting flowers.
That's perfect. And small dialogues or quotes can make your speech more dynamic. My friend said, "You should try this recipe." And I replied, "I will. It looks delicious."
Including small errands or responsibilities adds more detail. For example, I went to the bank to pay some bills and then I stopped by the pharmacy to buy medicine.
Learners can also use expressions for duration or frequency. For a few minutes, for half an hour, a couple of times, every day, or once a week. They make your storytelling more precise.
Talking about entertainment or hobbies is another way to expand vocabulary. For instance, I watched a short documentary about animals. It was very interesting and inspiring.
You can also describe how an activity made you feel or why you enjoyed it. I enjoyed painting this afternoon because it was relaxing and helped me forget about stress.
And sharing small achievements can be motivating too. I completed my workout routine today. I feel accomplished and energized. Even simple sentences like that help learners practice positive expressions.
Talking about meals in more detail can also enrich your description. I made a vegetable salad for lunch. It was colorful, fresh, and very tasty. Adding adjectives makes sentences more vivid.
Another useful strategy is to describe preparation or steps. Before cooking, I washed the vegetables and chopped them carefully.
Finally, you can end your day by talking about relaxing or winding down. In the evening, I listened to soft music and wrote a few notes in my journal. It helped me feel calm before bed.
Another way to make your daily storytelling more interesting is by describing sounds or noises around you. For example, while I was working, I could hear birds singing outside my window. It was very calming.
That's a great tip. Using words related to senses, sound, smell, touch, taste, and sight helps your listener imagine your day more vividly.
You can also mention small routines that are unique to your lifestyle. For instance, I like to water my plants in the evening. It's a small task, but it makes me feel productive.
Talking about transportation in more detail is helpful too. Instead of just saying, I took the bus, you can describe the experience. I rode my bike to work. The air was fresh and I enjoyed the short exercise.
Even small encounters can be interesting. For example, I saw a street artist drawing portraits. It was amazing to watch their skills in action. Small details like this make your English sound lively and real.
Another tip is to describe your energy levels throughout the day. Words like tired, refreshed, sleepy, or energized help express how your day affected you physically.
And linking those feelings to activities is even better. For example, after my morning run, I felt energized and ready to start work.
Sharing achievements, even minor ones, can also make your storytelling more positive. I finished my assignment earlier than expected. It gave me a sense of relief.
You can also add little challenges you faced and how you solved them. For instance, The internet stopped working for a while, so I used my phone to complete the urgent tasks. It makes your description practical and realistic.
Talking about hobbies or skills is very effective. You can say, I spent some time practicing the guitar. I'm slowly learning a new song, and it feels rewarding.
Another way to enrich your day description is by mentioning preparation for upcoming events. For example, I organized my clothes and backpack for tomorrow's meeting. It saves me time in the morning.
You can also describe meals in more detail by including how you prepared them or how they tasted. I baked cookies in the afternoon. They smelled sweet and tasted delicious.
Small actions can be described in sequence to practice verbs and connectors. For instance, I boiled water, cut some vegetables, and then added them to the soup. It was easy and satisfying.
Talking about entertainment or relaxation is useful as well. For example, I watched a short comedy video online. It made me laugh and lifted my mood after a long day.
Even small encounters can be interesting. For example, I took a warm shower in the evening and did a quick skincare routine. It felt refreshing.
Sharing small reflections about your day is also interesting. Today was productive, and I felt happy with the progress I made. It introduces learners to expressing opinions and feelings.
You can combine reflections with plans for tomorrow to make a smooth ending. I enjoy today's activities, and I plan to go for a morning jog tomorrow to start the day well.
Using future expressions like plan to, want to, hope to, or intend to is very common in English and helps learners talk about upcoming activities naturally.
Another way to make your daily description more vivid is by sharing small surprises or unexpected moments. For example, while I was walking in the park, I noticed a small group of children flying kites. It was fun to watch.
Small details like that make your storytelling engaging and realistic. You can even mention the weather or season to give context. The wind was strong, perfect for kite flying.
Talking about planning or organizing your tasks during the day is useful too. For instance, I made a to-do list in the morning to stay focused. It helped me finish everything on time.
Sharing learning moments can also be included. You might say, I spent some time learning a new English expression. It was interesting and will help me speak more naturally.
Talking about small moments of joy is effective. For example, I had a cup of coffee while watching the sunset. It felt peaceful and calm.
You can also mention moments of relaxation or rest. I took a short nap in the afternoon. It recharged my energy for the rest of the day.
Talking about short conversations or messages during the day helps learners practice casual English. For example, I texted my friend about meeting this weekend. We made a plan to go hiking.
Using action words combined with feelings makes your storytelling more dynamic. I finished my work early and I felt very relieved and proud of myself.
Another tip is to describe repetitive routines in a slightly different way each time. For example, in the evening, I usually read a book. Tonight, I read a chapter about nature. It was fascinating.
You can also describe small personal accomplishments. I cleaned my desk and organized my papers. It made me feel productive and satisfied.
Sharing small challenges can make your English more relatable. I tried cooking a new recipe. It didn't turn out perfectly, but I enjoyed the process.
Including sensory experiences adds richness to your description. The cookies I baked smelled sweet, and the taste was better than I expected.
Talking about interactions with family or friends naturally fits into your day story. I had a video call with my parents. We talked about our plans for the weekend.
You can also reflect briefly on your feelings at the end of the day. Overall, I felt happy and accomplished. It was a productive and enjoyable day.
Ending your day with routines or relaxation helps learners practice sequencing. Before going to bed, I drank some herbal tea and wrote a few notes in my journal.
And finally, mentioning plans for tomorrow gives your storytelling a natural conclusion. Tomorrow, I will go for a morning walk and then continue working on my project.
Practicing talking about your day every day will help you feel more confident in English. Remember to include small details, emotions, and routines. It makes your speech natural.
That's right. The more you practice, the easier it becomes to share your daily experiences with others in English.
That's all for today's episode. If you found these tips useful, try describing your day in English tonight. It's a simple way to practice fluency and expand vocabulary.
Don't forget to subscribe to Learn English Through Podcast for more helpful episodes and practical English tips.
And hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video. Keep practicing, and soon, talking about your day in English will feel completely natural.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.